Hello, travelers. I thought I probably need to make a follow-up to the Golden Globe video, right? Because I made a video with all my picks and my predictions, but then here's the thing: reacting to like video game award shows is one thing. I don't know if I can do. I'll have to look into copyright. I'll look into copyright and well, hang on, yeah, see, I wanted to do reaction to the whole show, but I've seen people like on Twitch try to do reactions to Golden Globes and Oscars, and it always ends in travesty. Doing it for like video game award shows seems to be infinitely easier, but at the very least, I wanted to go on here and look up the winners for all the shows, and I've already been spoiled to a few of the picks. A couple of them I was like, oh cool, that's cool, and a few of them I already know. Oh my god, I'm so disappointed. Okay, best picture winner drama between all of these is The Brutalist. Now again, here's the thing. I'm seeing The Brutalist very soon. We discussed this in the previous video, is that it's an annoyance of mine how for award shows, I get it. I understand waiting until the tail end of the year to put out your gamer movie, because if you want to make it for award season, I mean, hopefully if the piece of media is not simply awards bait, you know what I'm talking about, like, then cool, I get it, you put it out there because when award season comes up, it has relevancy, it has recency, and it's just good timing. But the problem with that is if you put it too late in the year, or heaven forbid, what grinds my gears, it makes the film will make its rounds in the award circuits, right? Like in the end of the year, but it won't get mainstream, like it won't get national theatrical distribution until like early quarter 1 of the next year. And that pisses me off, because then there's winners on here that if I could have watched them by now, believe me, if I could have watched Nickel Boys or The Brutalist, or I don't even know if September 5th is out yet, but if I could have watched those, I would love, but no. But I do have a showing of The Brutalist scheduled in about a week or so. I'm very lucky, one of the few theaters in the nation to be able to get to see it in a 35 millimeter on a film print. It's also a heckin' long, it's like a 3-hour, 37-minute movie, which I'm all up for a long movie, unless it's a good movie. But the more I hear about The Brutalist, I keep hearing good things. A bunch of actors in it that I really, really, really like. Not to mention, I love brutalism. Like, it's one of my favorite architectural. Like, I love like Art Deco. I love Gothic architecture, but I love Art Deco and like brutalist architecture the most, I think. But all that to say, out of all of these, although I would have like personally gone with Dune Part 2, it sounds like The Brutalist is a deeper, more meaningful film overall. So this one, pending my viewing of it, sounds like it's a rightful winner. It sounds like a very well-made film. I simply wish it would have come out like a month earlier. But anyway, so wait. Well, the winner's right there, right? Okay, cool. Yeah, Brutalist. So Brutalist won that one. Next up, we had Best Motion Picture Musical or Comedy. So out of all of these, I think my vote was for The Substance, 100%. Like, out of all of these, 100%. But I said I would have been okay. I'm glad Wicked didn't win. Not to say I'm a Wicked hater or anything, but like, come on. I would have been okay with a lot of these, but Emilia Perez. I also heard Emilia Perez is a musical. Like, what? I had no idea. I want to watch it. I'm very surprised to hear this one, but also given the subject material, it almost seems like, oh, did they feel like they had to pick it, right? Like, did the Academy think, oh, we had to pick this one? I don't know. But admittedly, I do, and I will, I still need to watch Emilia Perez, because if it's getting this much buzz at the Golden Globes, something tells me that it's going to get this much buzz, if not more, at the Oscars. But out of all of these, not the one I would have picked, but again, I simply need to watch it. This, I haven't seen it. This could blow. I did my top 10 list recently, and The Substance was my #1 pick. For all I know, I haven't seen this. This could, theoretically, doubtful, but theoretically, could blow The Substance out of the water. I can't say until I've seen the movie, right? This one I'm not too upset about. Best Motion Picture Animated. I completely understand, and I respect this choice. I'm so glad Inside Out 2 and Moana 2 didn't win. Memoir of a Snail, out of all, when I did my top 10 list, this made my #3. This is my third most favorite film of the year, and I'd seen over 200 in theaters. I love Memoir of a Snail. I really enjoyed The Wild Robot. It was a solid one. And this did come out It's my fault. I still need to watch it. I don't know if I'll put it on Patreon or not. I might, but I'm very much excited, low key, for Vengeance Most Foul. But for Flow to win, I got to see this at my local art house cinema. Beautiful film, no dialogue. At first, I didn't think I was going to like the animation, but it slowly but surely won me over. It's a unique film. It's just a visual spectacle. They're a bunch of animals. They all have like such character, emotion. Like I said, no dialogue, but the direction is great. The story is interesting. There's still moments where I'm left scratching my head, wondering like, what does that mean? What happened here? But it was quite the adventure. And yeah, they were right. It was not quite like anything I'd seen before. It was a very well-made film, and I'm actually very satisfied that won. So no complaints. Best Motion Picture Non-English Language, Amelia Perez. Once again, we're cleaning house here. Now this one I kind of like passed on judging because I had seen the trailer for this one. I haven't seen the movie. It had a very, very, very limited run in my art house cinema. Couldn't catch it in time. I haven't seen any of these, quite frankly, but it sounds like Amelia Perez is definitely like the one to be on the lookout for. Parlez-vous français? Oui, monsieur? No. Best performance by a female actor in a motion picture or drama. So we had Angelina Jolie as Maria, Fernanda Torres and I'm Still Here, Kate Winslet and Lee, Nicole Kidman and Baby. I did see Baby Girl since this, and she definitely killed it. Pamela Anderson. I do want to see Last Showgirl. I have that one queued. I think I have that one queued up too. It's not out yet. The Room Next Door. I do love Tilda Swinton. I'm so biased toward Tilda Swinton. But okay. I didn't even know what I'm Still Here is, but I don't think I voted on this one, so. Best performance by a male actor. The Brutalist is Cleaning House. And again, I still need to see it, so I can't rightfully judge. And Adrian Brody, from what I understand and what I've always seen him do, he's a powerhouse. I think I still would have gone for Coleman Domingo or Daniel Craig, personally. I'm kind of surprised, but I'm also not. Brutalist is, it's heavy Oscar. I mean, I'm sure it's going to be a fantastic film. I'm either going to love the film, or I'm going to be like, oh, that was overrated as hell. But Brutalist, looks on the surface like Oscar bait, but it's cleaning house. Everybody's talking about it, so at the very least, it'll be worth watching, right? I did hear about this. Hell yeah, you go, my girl. I'm glad Substance got a win in. I'm glad Substance got a win. But also, Mikey, dude. Although Mikey has been, the nominations alone is staggering, and the awards that the film and her have been winning, great. I mean, at the same time, to even be nominated is a feat in and of itself, right? But Demi Moore, yeah, of course, she killed it. So it displayed such a broad range of emotions, even being in that suit by the end of it. Oh, if you know, you know. Look, dude. Like I said, body horror can be a turnoff for some people, but if you can get through, even if you eventually see the movie and you're like, man, that third act was wild, I couldn't get behind it. That movie is worth it for the first 2/3 alone, just for you. But The Substance, I love it so much. Admittedly, I haven't seen all of these yet, but Demi Moore winning for this makes me very happy. I'm glad The Substance got a win. I'm glad Demi Moore got a win. Hell yeah. Blu-ray comes out the 21st of this month. And then if you want to, I'm not going to tell you how, because like me, you have to figure it out and earn it. But I will leave you in on a little bit of knowledge here. If you're a collector like I am and you want the limited edition, you want the highest caliber. So Mubi is putting out a basic Blu-ray at the end of this month. However, if you're like me and you love a nice steelbook, really cool case, and you want the 4K copy, there is a limited French run. They're doing a run in France of a steelbook that you can pre-order from the States. It's a little bit more expensive, but it will be 4K. It's in a steelbook, and that ships out in April, but you can pre-order it now if it's still available. Now, this one I also had spoiled for me. This one surprised me a little bit. Best performance by a male actor in a motion picture or comedy. I did really enjoy Different Man. He is great in the movie. But out of all these, I would have thought Jesse. Jesse plays almost the same character and everything. I still would have given it to Hugh Grant, honestly. My pick was Hugh Grant and Heretic. But you know what? I do love when he's not involved in Marvel. Nothing wrong with old Bucky. He's hot. I get it. He is a talent, period. So for him to win for A Different Man, he does he does do a very good job in that movie. I gotta rewatch A Different Man. It's been a minute. I feel like I really enjoyed the movie, but I may not have appreciated it as much as I could have. Best performance by a female actor in a supporting role. Again, Amelia Perez. I gave it to Margaret Qualley, and given the Oscars right now, I'm surprised that Felicity Jones didn't win. But my girl Margaret, come on, at least she got nominated. Again, dude, Amelia Perez, 2 nominations for the same movie. Like, come on, there were so many movies that came out this year. What are we doing here, B? I mean, Brutalist and Amelia Perez are the 2 biggest movies that I haven't seen yet. That I don't even know if I would call Amelia Perez like super big, but they're getting all the nominations and getting some wins. And curious how like they're both like primary protagonists, but I guess you consider Ariana a supporting role. I do hear that they both killed it. I hear that like they were both born to play the role, but Ariana and all that. I need to watch Wicked. I want to. It's been laziness. In my mind, I'm like, oh, it's gonna be in theaters for a hot minute, and it has. The show times are expansive. I will go see it. I do know one for something I'm very salty about coming up. Best performance by an actor in a supporting role. I heard about this. Oh, yo, my boy. Look. I would have picked Yura Borisov. I would have picked our boy here. I love, out of all of these, he was my favorite. And I'm a little bit surprised. And I did actually like Edward Norton in A Complete Unknown. Denzel. The fact that Denzel's here, he's a good actor, but given the film and the context of this character, I'm glad he didn't win. Surprised that Brutalist isn't cleaning house. Everybody's favorite DILF over here. Jeremy Strong got his nomination. A couple of Succession boys, but Kieran winning here is 100% deserved, I believe. 100%, because yeah, he killed it in A Real Pain. Brought a lot of brought a lot of emotion to his role. If you haven't seen A Real Pain yet, it's 100% worth a watch. It's a very good little like drama comedy, like dramedy of sorts. But him winning for A Real Pain, that tracks and makes sense. I'm happy to see it. I'm here for it. Best director, again, The Brutalist. Here we go again. Now, I 100% think Coralie Faget should have won for The Substance. No question about it. It's only her 2nd film she's ever done. Again, I'm sure I have to watch The Brutalist first. I'm sure it's going to be a fine time, a hootenanny of a film. I'll see the movie. I'll definitely let you guys know when I review the film, like exactly how good it is. You know, I really wish I could have seen it by now. You think it would have been made available to? It's such a head scratcher. It's like you're doing these award shows as like, you know, sure, for the industry, but it's a televised show for the public, but you make it so that most of the public isn't even able to watch it, and then you're like, this one, take our word for it. Like, what? All right, sure. I think that's a bit of a snub. Now, granted, again, Brutalist might also blow all these other movies out of the water, but for me, Substance personally, Coralie Faget should have won. Best screenplay, Conclave. I could see that. I think out of all of these, I understand why The Substance wouldn't win for this one, because it's the screenplay of this is more. I think the film is more like the accolades should be given more to its direction and performances. The screenplay for me, I know it's not entirely driven on character dialogue, but I think that a good screenplay, like character dialogue, is indicative of a good screenplay. I don't think I would have been super upset with any of these, but like, yeah, Conclave makes sense. Conclave is a very well written, a surprisingly well written, surprisingly engaging, like political theological thriller. Best original score, yeah, there we go. Why did we know it? I think Hans Zimmer still. I'm surprised to see Brutalist and Amelia Perez not cleaning house, but of course, challengers. Just like Trent Reznor, Atticus Ross. Yeah, I'm glad Conclave didn't win, because I don't think that was like the focus of the film. But Challengers and its music, that's really cool to see Challengers get a Golden Globe like that. It didn't make it in my top 10 or my honorable mentions. I think it's a really good movie. I didn't connect with it. I didn't love it. People were like, oh, it's a horny masterpiece. And I'm like, I think you're on 2 accounts. But perhaps it's another film I need to revisit, and I will have a greater appreciation for it. Fair enough. I don't recall any of these. But again, well, if it is a musical, it makes sense that it would win. And you can't put Wicked in here because they're not original songs, are they? Uh-oh. This one is what I'm pissed off about. I'm so pissed. I get it from a technical standpoint, but like, look, we're talking about cinematic and box office achievement, and the way they described this, they said, oh, this film, what did it do? Well, it is the highest grossing cinematic adaptation of a like a musical, like a Broadway musical. So on that merit, sure, but I mean, we're talking about like if we're talking like total cinematic and box office achievement, I still think, look, I guess there was no way Alien Romulus was gonna win, right? Although that would have been my biased pick, but I think the pick that should have won is this, hands down. Like, I know, like Marvel, Disney, say what you want. I'll shit talk both all day. I think that Marvel needs to get their act together, and Disney is just, it's just evil. It's just about how consumerism, how can we sell the most action figures, how can we make the most money. I only partake in the system because the artists that are employed through Disney occasionally make something masterful, like Andor, stuff like that. But I think that Deadpool and Wolverine should have won. Like, between saying, I mean, I'm glad that, like, theater kids are getting their time in the sun this year. Sure, cool, go for it. When I went to high school, I started in theater, and I gravitated more towards mass media because the hierarchy of high school theater class is a toxic environment full of pick-me guys and gals. And this isn't me being salty because, like, oh, they didn't cast me as the boss man lead in Guys and Dolls Jr. Like, it's not like that. Believe me, I tried to partake in the system, but teacher had her favorites, and you can argue that all day. But like, if you were there, if you know me, for one, if you know me personally, and we went to the same high school, if you were there, you were there. I loved her. She was a sweetheart, but she had favorites, and that's just. And the kids, oh my god, you're supposed to be. I'm getting into a soapbox. I'm so sorry, but like, being involved in the arts is great, but it's also meant to be a welcoming and safe environment. And for anybody to feel alienated from said environment, or for there to like be certain cliques and groups that form. I mean, Wicked is accurate in that it seems like, there's the popular, and like that there's those people. And those of us that felt excluded from that golden circle, as it were, we gravitated behind the camera, went to mass media, and we learned how to make your shit look good, aside from the talent you already brought to it, because these kids were talented. Like, of course, that's why they were picked partially. And yeah, we just learned how to, make it look even better and how the operation ran. So I just kind of gravitated towards the technical side of things. And I still have an appreciation for the arts, don't get me wrong. But anyway, all that to say, sure, but Deadpool and Wolverine, literally the highest grossing R film of all time. The endorsements, the product placement, what they accomplished in this film, the when worlds collide, like everything. I mean, like, and for it to not be also just a pure nostalgia cash grab, a little bit of nostalgia in there, a little bit of a cash grab in there, but it was the cinematic event of like the year. It was crazy. It was up there. So I think Wicked winning for that is a little bit twisted, but at the same time, I haven't watched Wicked, and I'm going to. Best television series, yeah, that makes sense. I still need to watch Shogun. I really want to. I heard fantastic things when the show was coming out, but I was already like knee deep in several other shows. I still am. I do plan on watching Shogun, and I will probably do a reaction series to it on the YouTubes as well. So I do want to watch Shogun. I love, the samurai. Like, I love them. It's great. Best television series, musical, or comedy? I have not even heard of Hacks. She's just getting warmed up. I'm sure it's a fun one. I didn't even remember reading this in my previous video. This is literally the first time that I've ever heard about this. Best TV series limit. Really? Okay. Baby Reindeer. I mean, I heard that it's like dark, but like so sad, but true. So sad, but true. I've heard that it's like dark, but good. I think we're approaching the end of the list now. Best performance. I did hear about this one. She won for Shogun. That's really cool. Who did I vote for? I didn't vote in this one because I hadn't seen any of the shows. I've only seen season 1 of House of the Dragon. I mean, she's great. And also, like, oh my god, mommy, please. Mom, sorry. Mommy, sorry. I'm sorry, but not so, like, come on. Like, oh, like, like I'll bark, and that chin line. Anyway, but Anna though, and I hear Shogun's a really good show, so you know. All right, best performance by an actor in a TV series. 2 wins for Shogun. Both leads of Shogun. Good for them. And I do like this guy. You see him in a lot. I think the last thing that I saw him in was John Wick Chapter 4. But he's really good. He's solid. I love to see actors that are only used as like, you know, side roles also then being given like full leading roles. It's always really cool. So good for him. Best performance by a female actor. Jean Smart in Hacks. I haven't seen Hacks yet. Did I vote for any of these? No, because I hadn't really seen any of these. Cool that she got a nomination. I haven't seen Agatha All Along yet, but I hear it's like a staple of like queer cinema. So, and we do love our girl Ayo, of course. Haven't seen Hacks yet. Haven't even heard of Hacks. By an actor in a television series, musical, or comedy. You know, that's deserved. That's well deserved. Like, even if season 3, in my opinion, again, my opinion, was the weakest one out of all 3 so far, Jeremy Allen White, like, oh my god, like, he puts his soul into whatever he does. He's great. Even if whatever he's in is not always, like, of the highest caliber, he still is. So, good for him. That's a valid win. You're looking at a Bear fan over here, though, so, like, very, very biased. Best performance by a female actor in a limited series. Hey, that's cool. We love Jodie Foster. A little bit sad that I'd only seen The Penguin, so it's a little bit sad that Kristen Milioti didn't win. And I haven't seen any of these really, but we love Jodie Foster. Good for her. By a female actor in a supporting role. Wait, what was that? Limited series. I see. Limited series. This is a supporting role on television. Oh, Baby Reindeer. Oh, that's a shame. Come on, our girl Tina T didn't win. Well, fair enough. I mean, I've only seen, the only clip that I've seen was like that first like bar introduction scene, but I think it was like the Netflix trailer, so makes sense, I suppose. All right, bottom of the 9th here. I did hear about this one. Best performance by a male actor in a limited series. Colin Farrell for The Penguin. You and me, kid. Hey, Victor. Hey, Vic. Jesus, Vic, calm down. You and me versus the whale, kid. Jesus, Ma, I did it for you, Ma. All of it. Yeah, give it to him. Sure, it's really cool. Like, and I'm sure people will be like, "Oh, it's all like the reviewer for IGN is gonna be punching the air right now because one of the things he said, he was like, "Oh, the prosthetics do all the heavy lifting," and I read that review after I watched the show, and I was just like, "Blow it out your ass, dude!" Like, no. Like, at the end of the day, Colin Farrell is a marvelous, massive talent. So I'm glad that he won. That's really cool. Best performance by a male actor in a supporting role. Again, 3 wins for Shogun. Good for them. Good for them. I need to watch Shogun. Honestly, I do. Kind of said that out. I mean, I felt like this season wasn't it. Like, season 2 was hit. Like, that was hit. Like, dude, he rocked it in season 2. But he wasn't given a whole lot of room in season 3. Harrison Ford getting a Golden Globe nomination. And my mom wants me to watch Shrink, and maybe someday I'll watch it. Best performance in a stand-up comedy or television. Ali Wong. She's always pretty funny. This one is the most subjective out of all of them, though. Adam Sandler, Ali Wong, Jamie Foxx, Nikki Glaser, Rama Youssef. He's also an actor and director. He's in Poor Things, like one of my favorite movies. And Seth Meyers is also very funny. But I haven't even seen it, but I can get that Ali Wong would win. That Ali Wong she's a very funny gal. But again, this one is entirely subjective based on whoever is doing the voting, like whatever the board and their comedic taste and preferences. And that's it. All right. Well, yeah. I think that for the most part, most of the wins this year for last year's, whatever. Most of the wins this year make sense. I think that even the ones that, like, there's some that I'm like, cool, I'm glad they won, or I figured they would. I don't think did any of my predictions come true? Like honestly, like, my picks are my picks. It is what it is. End of the day, the only big upset for me is Wicked winning, like, best box office achievement, I think. Like, if best direction, let's see if The Brutalist is better direction than The Substance. I don't know, but I'm not too upset this year. Only a couple little bits where I'm like, okay, sure, whatever. But all this shows me is that, like, because Oscars are movie oriented, Golden Globes are like film and television, so this just shows me there's some shows I missed out on last year that I do need to catch up on and watch. But anyway, that's all I gotta say. That's our conversation for the annual Golden Globes. Stay tuned for, I suppose, the next video that I'll be making like this will be for the Oscars, right? Whenever the Oscar nominations come through. And by then, I do hope anyway, I will have seen many more of the nominees or the potential nominees. I'll have seen more of the films that we saw here that I'm sure will also be featured in the Oscars. So stay tuned for that. Thank you guys and gals so much for watching. Feel free to comment below, by the way, if you think I was right or wrong about some things, what your opinions and takes were, hot or not, on what was nominated versus what won, what you're looking forward to, what you think the Oscars is going to look like this year. Like, by all means, like, let's talk about it. But I'll see you guys in the next whatever award show video I do. Have a good day, have a good night, and goodbye, travelers.